It's Nick Tuminello here. I want to take you through some of my top exercises, my non-corrective exercise solutions for improving hip extension, extensibility, or dealing with restricted or tight or hip flexors, as a lot of people say. Now, when I say non-corrective exercise or anti-corrective exercise, I'm not knocking corrective exercise. That stuff works. Although my goal is to try to get that same benefit in getting people to move better and feel better, or addressing specific issues like restricted hip extension, in as fast as possible and as efficiently as possible. Instead of spending a lot of time rolling and doing static stretching and whatever activation drills, I want to get all that taken care of within the workout while I'm getting you in the best shape of your life and enjoying the process. So I integrate hip flexor stretches in simplest terms into other exercises, and that's what I'm going to take you through. That being said, my stage one is teaching people how to do a proper hip flexor stretch. Once they get it, and if I teach them right, they'll get it pretty quickly, then we integrate that into a few other exercises, which I'll show you because there's some key movements that we do it with. So let me just take you through my approach to a good hip flexor stretch, and then we'll get right into these non-corrective exercise ways to do it. So I'm kind of in this 90-90 position. I'll go here for you. This is nothing new, so I'm not claiming anything here. First thing I want to do is posteriorly rotate my pelvis. So if my pelvis is a bucket of water, I take my two front hip bones and tell people to dump it backwards. Some people have a hard time doing that, so we'll have them sit back, and then kind of do it and then go into the hip flexor stretch. And you tell them to get their hips forward as far as they can without losing that. So I want to make sure I get that. That's part A. Part B is we can do two things, because we're going to make this a 3D stretch. I'm going to try to get an angle. I can either internally rotate this foot, so by taking that foot out, it internally rotate at my hip by flaring this foot out, because that caused internal rotation at this hip, or I can turn. All right? But if I turn this way, look, that's external rotation at this hip. So I want to turn towards it. That also creates internal rotation. So either one. If I'm stretching my left hip flexor, or hip flexors, I want to turn towards it, or I want to flare that foot out. Either way, that gets me that same hip internal rotation that I want. And then third is long, and then a reach over, so laterally this way. So if you're looking at me this way, it's a slight lateral turn, or it can be this way. So that would be a 3D hip flexor stretch. Now, we're going to hit all those dimensions and all these exercises? No, but for the most part, you're going to see how we get these taken care of within the workout while you're doing a lot of strength training exercises and strengthening the rest of your body.